I have had many paranormal experiences, and every time I encounter them, I feel as though I come in contact with the spirit world. It's a feeling that comes over me. The atmosphere changes somehow. I feel as though I have somehow slipped into another reality. Is that just my body's response to a strange event? Or does the air or the vibrational rate change somehow? Theoretical physicists hypothesize that our dimension may collide and bump into other dimensions. And on top of that, Einstein said that time is an illusion and everything is happening all at once. This implies that not only can we interact with other dimensions or vibrational planes, but we can also interact with the past. There have been people throughout history who claim the ability to see an object's past. Called psychometry, token object reading, or psychoscopy, it's the paranormal ability to touch an object and get information from it. One of the most well-known and famous of these people was Stefan Osseweicki, who was a Polish engineer that lived during the time of the First and Second World Wars. Considered one of Europe's best-known and most gifted psychics, Osseweicki was able to touch any object and see its history. He could see images in his mind and describe the history of the object. In the 1920s and 1930s, Osseweicki was tested by many of his contemporaries of the day, including French parapsychologist Gustave Galli and physiologist Charles Richet, who said that Osseweicki was the most positive of psychics. Osseweicki also demonstrated clairvoyant abilities, the ability to see objects, places, and people that were not in the same location or even in the same time as he. He was also capable of astral projection, now called out-of-body experiences or OBEs. It's the ability to travel outside of the body. In his book, Our Sixth Sense, Nobel laureate Charles Richet wrote, "If any doubt concerning the sixth sense remains, this doubt will be dissipated by the sum total of the experiments made by Galli, by myself, and by others with Stefan Osseweicki." Osseweicki performed many tests with his friends and colleagues during the decades leading up to World War II. After Hitler attacked Poland, Osseweicki began giving psychic readings to people about missing loved ones. They wanted to know what happened to their loved ones who had been abducted by the Nazis. Doing psychic readings and performing psychic tests could have put him in front of a firing squad, but he did them anyway. He felt it was his duty to use his psychic gifts to help people. Osseweicki was arrested by the Nazis in the early 1940s and was never seen again. It is assumed that he was murdered by them, and, as he had predicted much earlier, his body was never found. Learn more about him in the book A World in a Grain of Sand, The Clairvoyance of Stefan Osseweicki by Mary Rose Barrington and Sophia Weaver. A contemporary psychic with similar paranormal abilities is Noreen Renier. Renier is a psychic detective who has helped Canadian police solve many murders, rapes, and other crimes. Renier is able to tell law enforcement about the crimes simply by holding an object of the victim. When working on a case, she tells them not to give her any information. She wants just the victim's first name and the type of crime. She also requests that they send her an object of the deceased. Once she gets the object, she calms her mind and tape records the session. She records the images and feelings that she receives from the objects. Renier says she gets flashes of images, smells, sounds, and physical sensations. She says that all 5 of the normal senses get used in the psychic readings. The psychic readings give information about where and how the person was murdered. It also includes the feelings that the murder victim went through. Renier says the readings can be emotionally exhausting. She has written several books, including A Mind for Murder, The Real-Life Files of a Psychic Investigator, and The Practical Psychic. She was also one of the psychics used in the TV series Psychic Investigators, which aired in 2004. Psychic Investigators showcased real detectives and actual cases in which they turned to a psychic after all other leads had failed. Renier worked on over 400 unsolved criminal cases, including state, city, and county law agencies in 38 states in the US and 6 other countries. You can find out more about her on her website at noreenrenier.com. Her website contains stories of some of the cases that she helped solve. I highly recommend reading them. How are Osseweicki, Renier, and other psychics able to access the information? And where is this information stored? Edgar Cayce, the sleeping prophet, who gave psychic readings to people all over the country, said he gathered the information from 2 sources. First, from their own subconscious minds, and second, from the Akashic records. Here is how Cayce described the Akashic records during one of his readings. Is this how Osseweicki and Renier are able to access the psychic information? What do you think? Do you know anyone who has these abilities? Leave a comment. Have you had any experience with psychometry? We would love to hear your story. Like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for future videos. And have a beautiful day in this strange, beautiful, paranormal world we live in.